Welcome to Canada's podcast.
Hi, this is Angela Fay from Canada's podcast and founder of Futureville. And I am super excited about introducing you today to Carolyn Cooper McEwitt. And we are really highlighting living above the line today. That is what we are going to talk about. We're going to talk about being ready. And before we jump in and provide you oodles of ideas and tools on how you can do that, both for yourself and for your family and your community, I just want to bring Carolyn to the table and say, Carolyn, tell me a little bit about your entrepreneurial journey and what we're doing here today.
Oh, great. Thank you so much, Angela, for the opportunity to be here. Thank you. So what I'd like to open with is that really businesses have been suffering since COVID. Honestly, I want to just dive into the truth.
Yeah.
I think the truth matters. And the philosophy with our networking community, the Grand Connection, is to support those businesses that are feeling lost, that are feeling afraid, that don't have the direction that they need. They don't have a community around them. They don't have the strategic alliances to support them to grow and build their business. So living above the line in regards to that is a concept that I've been teaching and preaching for 40 years. And it's to support businesses as it can happen in your life as well as your business. And the line is the line of decision. Okay, so we make decisions on what we think, we make decisions on what we say, and we make decisions on what we actually do. So the decision can be to be in doubt and fear and criticism and judgment. That's living below the line. And what happens?
Otherwise known as suffering, right?
Yes.
All of those suffering states.
Absolutely. Yeah. And, so many people think in their business or in their life that they don't have an opportunity that they can change that. And they do.
Yes.
And how that happens is receiving support around you. And so that's why we're so passionate about the Grand Connection, because we support people to really leave from living below the line, which is draining, and you get stuck there, right?
Totally.
So we support to shift, what I call, make the decision to live above the line. And living above the line is a discipline. It's a mental discipline. It's being conscious. It's being aware of what you think, what you say, and what you actually follow through on, what you take action on. And what it starts with is a sense of wonder and curiosity about what can be, not what has been, or worrying about, what's going to happen in the future. It's actually getting present and grounded and just say, what do I really want in my life or my business? What do I want? And just opening that door of opportunity, key, you can see my key, I love keys. So it's really turning that key all the way and saying to yourself, okay, in my business, things have changed dramatically over the last year and a bit. What do I want? Who are the ideal clients that I just love to work with? That it's a real shared energy. Like when I met you, I knew that you and I were soul sisters. I did, like in about 2 minutes.
Yes.
So I'm honored you invited me, but you have to collaborate like we are today with other people that resonate with the same dreams and visions and opportunities and possibilities that are possible for you, and making the decision to believe in that.
And to me, there's a lot of talk about this right now. There's actually a report that came out, which I'm happy to share a link to at some point if anybody is curious, but apparently 50% of business owners, but also employees, are thinking about and reconsidering the work that they're doing. 50% today. That's a lot of people who are in transition and pivot. And really what I know you embody, and which is why I wanted to talk to you today, is, how do you take that next step? how do you take that? How do you redesign, re-engineer your future when everything that we took for granted as true, we're discovering is really social conditioning. So it is maybe a social conditioning. We hear it all the time about limiting beliefs.
Yep.
But the third is our systems that were globally connected were very much based in the scarcity economy, right? Based on traditional forms of business. I believe the future is all about abundance and there's lots to go around. So how does somebody, what would you recommend, Carolyn, is the first step for somebody to actually get from where they are today?
Yes.
To re-engineering their future?
So I would say the first thing you do is become incredibly curious on what could be. And we are so hooked into what has been, which is exactly what you just said. Okay. And we're so worried about what might happen. In other words, 99.999% of the things that we worry about never happen. Imagine the energy and because I think energy is everything. And people say to me, how can you have that much energy at 62 years old? And I say, you know what? I'm very conscious of what I think about. So the first thing that I'm going to suggest is open up your mind to the curiosity and what do you want? You know, look online, look at pictures, walk and allow that internal voice of wisdom to actually speak to you. But you need the place and the space for that.
Yes.
Hear how you're being guided. See, I think every business has an opportunity to function from their highest self. That's when clients are attracted to you. That's when people hear what your business is about and how you're serving, whether you are a doctor, dentist, graphic designer, florist, whatever, accountant. But people can feel and be able to resonate with you when you're functioning from your highest self. And the only way that happens is if you are open, curious, and aware what you're thinking, what you're saying, and what you're doing. So even if you choose one of those things as the first, just become curious. Just really pick up the mirror and take a look.
Yes.
Because we're in charge here. Really?
Well, and one thing that you and I talked about is, and I'm just going to say, being ready. I wrote down 3 things that you and I know has to happen for people. The first one is reconnecting to purpose. And what does that mean? And for the pragmatic people or the conservatives, what is the difference between knowing that somebody is armed with a sense of purpose and they're versus, they're just busy for the sake of being busy? What do you can you comment on that? Carolyn, how do you know?
Well, I'll just tell you, when you're busy for the sake of being busy, you're exhausted, just to be honest. Your energy is really low, right? You're just filling your plate with things that aren't even meaningful to you, really.
Right.
They're not connected to your vision and your direction of your business that you want. Okay. So I see people exhausted, tired, their whole calendar is full and disorganized, right? So they're taking this sort of shotgun approach to everything rather than deciding specifically to focus on what they really want and who they want to serve and who they best serve within their business is critical, right? So, and when you function from a purpose, you know the direction you're going to go, but you also are completely connected with your heart in what you do. So a lot of people function just from their head in practically, but we need to translate and bring that connection from their heart, their meaning, their purpose, the why they're doing what they're doing. I mean, I know why I am. I believe I'm here to support people to let go of all fear in business, to make the decision to go for what they want in their business and watch the magic happen. I see it year after year after year after year. And it's so exciting to witness that.
Yes.
That's why my business is called Inspired Business, because I had this opportunity of watching people's inspiration ignite and then pursue those dreams. You can dream. My picture behind.
What does that?
It
What does that
costs
say?
nothing to dream and everything not to. I think people have lost the purpose and passion to really define and design those visions and dreams for them. And I think this pandemic has supported. I think it's been excruciating for a lot of people and super challenging. But I also believe that it's given us an opportunity to kind of pull back and say, hey, what's going on here? What isn't working? This is not working. It's going back to your 50% of people that are like, what am I doing? This isn't really working for me. What else can I do? So I truly know that when people open their mind and start just doing research, like in business, I always say, if you really want to shift your career or your business, just start being curious and open. Just do a ton of research. Talk to people who do something that you think that you love to do. Talk to you. Talk to me. You just have to reach out. You'll be absolutely shocked how many magnificent, supportive, kind, compassionate people that are willing to share with you. Right?
So pillar 2 is, we had connect to your purpose, which I think is way harder than, simply saying, sure, connect with your ppurpose. I ended up, going through a whole coaching program over this, after this COVID pivot for me. And I thought I was all purpose connected. I am, but refining it and getting it to a point where I can say in one sentence, this is my superpower. And then, embracing the Stephen Kotler, Peter Diamandis Bold book, which is What's Your Moonshot? And I reread that book Bold again, just in this last read, and it said something like this: if you want to be a millionaire, you need to solve a million people's problems. And being a millionaire isn't the end goal. The monetary system, the wealth is not helping the million people is the end goal. So I just went, oh my gosh, you can't, which is really about scaling. And to me, everything that you're doing in Grand Connection is totally scalable, because I've been in your events, awesome. Where I see opportunity for others with Bold is to connect with the moonshot, right? That what is exponentially 10 times bigger than what you originally thought. And the reason I'm suggesting this is because I believe people have a responsibility to show up as their highest and best self. Because if we can show up as our highest and best self, and there's 10 times more people happier, more grounded in their home life, they're not suffering, they're not living below the line in their thinking or their business, then we've done our job.
Yes.
We've done our job.
Yes. Yes, I agree wholeheartedly. And it's about the third pillar where I want to go next, which is you need a community. You know what? We 100%. Cannot do this alone. Okay. People, really listen to me here. You can think you can be on that hamster wheel in your thinking, and it can go over and over and over again. One person can give you one idea that can turn your life and your business into a hard right, that I call it, to go in a completely different direction, that you become inspired, you become purposeful, you begin to take action. It just gives me truth bumps here.
Goosebumps, totally.
It's the truth, people. And, I think that COVID has given us an opportunity to look at the truth in our business and our life and make the changes that we need to. I look at this time is we are rounding a corner here with business and with life, that we are taking a big shift right now, that we're really landing. So we're deciding what we want. I see it over and over with all the Zoom calls I do every week, is businesses are redeciding what they want, and they're creating the plan to get there.
I want to delve in a little bit about your community because, and I'll phrase it that part of what I love about you, Carolyn, is you're a community builder, right? You're not just a business builder, you're a community builder.
Mhm.
And I've experienced firsthand the Grand Connection several times and met, and each time there was another grand connection made, right? So in each sort of session, you meet a lot of people, but then you break out, you niche down, and then you have one, an incredible conversation that leads, that if you have clarity, you know how to find and listen to where the gems are, and you find that gem, and then boom, that turns into an opportunity. And to me, a community is more than just a website or an event. It's not networking anymore. Like old school was networking based on your geography. Things like, and I'm not going to pick on chambers of commerce, but let's pick on chambers of commerce, right? They were community based on a physical location, right? Geographical.
Mhm.
Now, today, we are more, when we're purpose driven, you align with people globally who share the same purpose, and the results are usually exponential. So tell me, let's delve a little bit more onto what makes Grand Connection unique.
Gosh, I honestly, the Grand Connection became Susan Dreama's and my calling on March 15th. We stood at the Grand Canyon and we looked out at this glorious, absolute miracle of a view.
Yes.
And all I could think about behind us, and Susan was the same, is all these businesses that are going to be suffering because of COVID. All the restaurants, all the businesses don't know how to navigate online, that are going to be completely lost, catatonic, and think that they have to do it alone. I just looked at Susan and I said, we have so many years of business skills, training and experience and business planning to bring. It's an injustice for us to sit idle. And at that moment, I knew something big happened. I actually felt it in my body. Honestly, I said, this is big. I know it is. I said, I've run networking groups and mastermind groups for 30 years. And you have all the back end, all the logistics, all the marketing. I said, let's come together to serve these businesses around the world. She said, around the world? And I said, yep. So I'm the visionary. And so we're this amazing yin and yang of strengths and abilities, because we really respect each other and honor each other for our differences. And it's just so extraordinary. And we had a strategic planning session last October. And I said, we're going to bring the world together. She goes, we are? I said, yeah. I mean, we started with 20 people and we were really, really bad in the beginning, honestly. I said, this is...
I doubt bad would be adequate.
We were not great, just to be honest, but our philosophy with this community is that we want to create the place and the space for businesses to come in, to feel inspired, energized, to be a part of a community that's super organized and efficient. Our events are super fast paced and go to the next one and give people a lot of opportunity to connect, create these opportunities. Like you said, when you resonate with another business, we encourage constantly follow up with them on LinkedIn.
Yes.
Connect with them in the chat. Let's see the possibilities here, living above the line. Let's see what opportunities that you could have to partner, to podcast, to create a summit, to do business together, to do marketing together, because it's a global marketplace. Exactly what you said.
It is.
And I feel that Susan and I come from exactly the same place of deep care and intention for these businesses. And we want to bring the resources that they need. I mean, that's our absolute goal and vision. And we have, we've invited the best of the best speakers from around the world that usually speak to 60 and 70,000 people. And they said, sure. You girls are great. Sure. I'll come. I'm like, and I looked at my vision board and I said, oh my goodness. I said, I'm looking at my vision board to one of the speakers, Dan Clark. I said, I'm looking at You Deserve This. And he goes, yes, you do, Carolyn. And I just was
Yes.
like, oh, it was so great. So I know it's our job to do this, and also to our highest good and our highest self too. So we live what we invite people to do. And it's just from Peru to Chile to South Africa to England to Australia to Scotland. And we partner with 3 other networking organizations around the world once a month. And 2 weeks later, we have expert speakers that we invite to come in.
That's very cool. Yeah. Well, and I've experienced all of that, met Dan Clark, and I'm sure others in the future who are going to be great. One thing I would like to talk to is flow. You and I both share that as a sort of core value. Flow happens above the line.
Yes.
It's impossible. And my language and analogy to the living above the line is power play is one of our at Futureville our goal, because it is impossible when you're suffering, and in that, whether it's doubt, fear, frustration, boredom, all of those below the line states of being, is, neurology and science has proven that it is impossible to innovate, create, think logically below the line. So above the line, which is what we're talking about, where you're experiencing high energy, you're experiencing anti-aging, you're experiencing flow, is also where creativity, innovation, and disruption is not only possible, it actually happens. Like, it just happens. So, it's borderline architected serendipity. When you're already above the line, Providence will move too, right? It will happen for you when you show up with clarity and purpose, which is what we talked about, and then you're within the right community. Yeah. So from 40 years of business experience, what does flow look like moving forward for people from your perspective?
Well, to me, having my mantra for this year, I always choose a phrase. My phrase last year in 2020 was "let go to lead." Okay, so that would be the
Love
flow.
It.
This year is flow foundation.
Okay.
It's on my day timer there, and I look at it all the time. And to me, flow is trusting in the process. It is connecting to that place within yourself that this is exactly what you're meant to be doing. So if you don't know that yet, like many people come to me and say, wow, like you said, what's my purpose? I don't know what my purpose is. So it's just starting with an awareness, and the answers will be there and come. And Flow Foundation is being in the present moment and trusting that each action or step that you take, like I'm living in Flow Foundation at this moment, because I'm just trusting that all the knowledge and experience and back that I have lived, that I'm going to bring to this moment. So
right.
It's a real foundation of trust. And also it's having that position with no ego. So it's not about me. Okay. It's about, my vision and dreams. I mean, with the Grand Connection, we have a dream of having 5,000 members in the next 3 years from around the world. And that's a big, big goal. And I really know it's going to happen because of this Flow Foundation that Susan and I both function from, in her strengths and in mine. So it's setting that really clear intention, that end result that you really want to experience. Like, I love being in the moment. I absolutely adore it. It takes way less energy. It's super simple. And that, it just allows you to be you. That's it. And trust yourself that you can function from this flow foundation or flow state.
Yes.
And I think that's when we serve from our highest good.
So I'm going to spitball a question that I didn't prepare for you, but if you had $1 billion right now at your disposal, what would you do?
Okay, I've thought of this a lot. I would do exactly what I'm doing. I mean, honestly, I know that my life's mission is to support business. When I started business, I was very alone. And I remember looking at the phone and just, that sense of, just isolation. I mean, I can even, taste it right now. So I know that happened for me to have this purpose. That's the other thing about purpose I didn't mention, is usually from our experiences that have been really challenging, we create this purpose and passion to really support ourselves and then serve the world, right? Like, so, but if I had $1 million, I would invest.
Wait, whoa. I said billion. No, you have $1 billion. Here it is. Here's your $1 billion.
Okay, $1 billion.
It's a lot.
I would absolutely create the Grand Connection on a vast scale to create all educational opportunities for businesses. I would have all the best of the world be available there. I would have mentors, mentees. I would have the support system with Susan set up so incredibly that businesses in India, in China, in Bulgaria would have an opportunity to participate, and it would be a pay it forward process. So it would be serving as well as receiving. Like, it's the give to gain process. Because I think financial abundance is energy, but I think when you give, it comes back, and it's like a big circle.
Yes.
The giving is significant. So I would travel. That would be my ultimate dream, and speak about, the passion of what our 3 values are: connection, creation, and collaboration. Those are our 3 core roots and values of the Grand Connection. And I would witness all this inspiration happening. I would just love it. That's what I would do.
So I'm going to introduce you to another community which is an exponential community after today. So people want it today, which is 10 times your goal and connecting you with resources and a global community. I know you're doing that yourself, but imagine the convergence of these 2 ideas, like an open EXO community and Grand Connection. Boom, what might happen there? So one, I'm just going to encourage you. We'll talk about that later. Let's leave our entrepreneurs, small business owners. There's a lot of micro business. There's a lot of macro business here listening to Canada's podcast. What message would you love to share with them in closing?
I would love to let them know that all the possibilities and opportunities are available right this moment. Even if you think they're not, they actually are. Yes. And it's what I said before, come to the Grand Connection, because you're going to be in a breakout room and there's going to be someone there and you're going to think, wow, I could collaborate with that woman from Belgium. Oh, her service could align with mine perfectly. Let's do a program. Let's do a system. So I just want to tell you, just get to the Grand Connection. It's a great community. You'll feel better. You'll meet the right people, the like-minded people that you want to collaborate with, and reach out if you're suffering. Reach out and ask for support.
Great.
And I'd also participate in our meaningful masterminds. We have 2 meetings a month for an hour and a half. And it's an hour and a half of a deep dive into every themed expert speaker that we have each month. And it gives you an opportunity to design a vision, to set those goals, to receive the support from small groups around you. We call it accountability pods. And I've created, the Grand Plan Goals Tracker. And it's it's $99 a month for 2 events, 2 mastermind meetings, and a masterclass. I mean, it's extraordinary value, and just ask for the support when you need it.
I would like to actually bring something to the table based on what you're saying, because I actually met Shashila at the Grand Connection. We talked earlier. She did another podcast with me. And one thing that we identified that I think will ring true is when you are searching for answers externally, you will probably land with a professional development expert. You will be looking for their solutions. You will be you're searching externally. When you connect with them, this was her comment, but I'm reiterating, it will probably fail because the answers are all internal. So the reason I'm bringing that up is because the grand connection is not, in my experience, a space where you are being told what to do in business. Here's a framework. Follow this framework. Do this, do this. If you do this, this, and this, then you will be successful in business, which is mostly what experts talk about. Mm-hmm. And what the grand connection is, I'm reinforcing what you're saying. It is, you have created the space for people to discover for themselves what their deep connection and vision and purpose is. And then they can get clarity and say, this is what I want. Once you ask and say it out loud, then the people in the grand connection want to connect you with people. So even if they don't have the solution themselves, they're like, oh my gosh, you should connect with this person. Let me send you a lead. And so the ripple effect is quite big.
Well, Susan and I are doing a big summit that we're being interviewed on a panel. And we are going to be talking about the network effect, which is exactly what you just said. So it's being clear and hearing yourself say what you want and who you are, what you stand for in your business, and then having that connection and collaboration, and then watch that. So instead of just one person, it turns into 10 people. Because you and I meeting today, I know that there's lots more opportunities for me after this because of the people because they are similar to you. And it's just an example. So that's what happens. It's like a spider web. It really is. And it happens so fast. I mean, the Grand Connection, we have 100 people at our events every 2 weeks. And I mean, people do summits once a quarter and get that many people. People are coming because they know it's good. And exactly what you said. It's a place and a space that people can connect truthfully and grow their business.
Yes. So I would how do we connect with you? We've talked about it, but what's the actual link? How do we get connected to the Grand Connection?
Okay. So you can go to grandconnection.ca.
Okay.
We have an amazing Facebook group, Grand Connection. And we have every recording from every expert speaker in that group. So I invite you to go there and listen for free, to listen to all the expert speakers. We have an amazing YouTube channel that also has the YouTube series. And we have our podcast, The Grand Potential. See, everything at the Grand Connection is grand. So, because I think it's a grand adventure. Like when we came,
I love that.
We had no idea that was going to go the way it has yet. So grandconnection.ca, Grand Connection on YouTube, and also feel free to go to our website and check out the Meaningful Masterminds, because I'm sensing that some people would like to participate there too. And I've got a whole video and description and everything on there too. And feel free to reach out to me at Carolyn at inspiredbusiness.ca or Susan at newearthmarketing.com.
One thing that I actually forgot to mention at the very beginning, which kind of, you and I are living in the digital world. We met digitally, right? We've connected several times over the course of the last few months, but you're actually here in British Columbia. You're base camped here in BC, is that right? Geography is suddenly becoming second or tertiary as far as, connecting with people. But tell me a little bit about where you live before we leave here.
Sure.
What makes it amazing living where you live or in Canada?
Well, my dad grew up in Nanaimo, just saying.
Classic. Okay.
And I grew up in Victoria, and now I live in Kelowna. It is extraordinary. I have the most gorgeous, beautiful house in the neighborhood. And I have 3 minutes away, I have a hiking trail that I take my dog Tucker every single day. And, I just love living in Kelowna. The weather is extraordinary.
Yes.
And the wine is beautiful, and the wineries are gorgeous. So I've got a great community here of women and friends, and we go hiking and biking and, occasionally go to a winery or two for a birthday celebration and, make great food. And it's great here.
Fantastic. Well, it's good to know you're here in beautiful, supernatural British Columbia. Carolyn, it has been a pleasure. I know your energy is absolutely infectious, which is why I wanted to share you with our audience on Canada's podcast. So thanks for joining us.
It is my pleasure and my honor. And Angela, I just want to, ping pong back and just let you know that you are really stepping up. Like when I met you, I immediately connected with you. It was just like 1 minute. Okay. Yeah. She's my kind of girl. Yeah. What you're doing here is really making a lot of impact in people's lives. So thank you for that. Thank you for all that you do and all the time and the energy and effort that you put in here. And, I really see your vision, your future, Bill. I'll hold that vision with you, which helps.
And that is a great point is grab a community member, jump in and let us hold your vision with you and for you.
Yes, ma'am.
So Carolyn, we'll see you again.
Thank you.